2026. I'll call the meeting to order and ask for the roll call, please.
Councilmember Baker.
Present.
Councilmember Barber.
Present.
Councilmember Burke, absent. Councilmember Circo.
Present.
Councilmember Ingert, absent. Councilmember Holman.
Present.
Councilmember McDonald.
Present.
Councilmember Rowe.
Present.
Mayor Turnbow.
Present. We have a quorum. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Well, this is an annual proclamation that is especially important this year, given everything that these people have worked to accomplish, not only through our 10 days of fun that we just completed, but many other projects that our Parks Department and our Parks Board do. And I would like to invite as many of you up here to join me as you possibly can. I know we have members of the board and members of the Park Department tonight, along with their director. I'd like to read this if I could. Whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the city of Raymore, Missouri, and whereas our parks and recreation programs are vital to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens, and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of a community and region. And whereas parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local sales tax or local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the Parks and Recreation Department and the Parks and Recreation Board consistently demonstrate an unwavering commitment to enhancing the city of Raymore as an exceptional community in which to live, work, play, and volunteer. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, now therefore I, Christopher P. Turnbow, Mayor of the City of Raymore, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2026 as Parks and Recreation Month in the City of Raymore, Missouri, and encourage all citizens and guests to celebrate Parks and Recreation Month by visiting Raymore's 300-plus acres of parkland that includes 7 parks, 4 linear parks, over 20 miles of trails, an amphitheater, an ice rink, a spray ground, playgrounds, athletic fields, shelters, Centerview event space, the Raymore Activity Center, or participate in one of our leagues, programs, and community events. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Raymore to be affixed this 13th day of July 2026. I want to congratulate everybody on a successful events that we did. I know it was a lot of work, a lot of hours. I know that the board put in a lot of time directing the staff to assist with making sure that these were times that were very successful for our community. It really shined on our community, and I can't thank them enough with just a piece of paper, but I want to try, okay? Nate, thank you very much. Everybody crowd in. Let's get a photo and turn toward the ladies there. I lean on Eddie here.
We got Josh. Hurry up, Josh is here now.
All right.
Can you reread it?
Lost track of time.
If you want to read it, Josh.
No. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Did you want to say something, Ray?
Just I don't like to take that.
Thank you, everybody. All right, we have no personal appearances this evening, but we'll move on to staff reports. Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask Mr. Gress to make a staff report for Development Services.
Thank you, sir. Mayor and council, in your packet this evening was a report for the month of June. We did issue 19 new single-family home permits, which was our busiest month yet this fiscal year for single-family home construction. We issued new homes in the Sendera, Alexander Creek, Parkside, Creekmore, and Creekside Ranch subdivisions. We also had one kind of remnant lot in the Skyview East subdivision that was permitted, which is the land kind of south of Lucy Webb, there south of Morning View. So it's good to see kind of an infill lot there for an area that's been kind of dormant for quite a while. Last month, we also permitted the expansion of the South Metro Fire Administration Building, which is right across Sunset Lane here. So they'll add some new administrative offices and meeting rooms there for their building. So you'll see that construction here kind of ramping up in the next couple of weeks. Looking at upcoming meetings, I did at least want to draw the council's attention to, we will hold a public hearing next Tuesday. Planning and Zoning Commission will for a conditional use permit request that was made by the Cass County Water District number 10. So the Planning and Zoning Commission will review that request, and that will be an item that should appear before the City Council at your first meeting in August for another public hearing there. And so if you have any questions or comments about any projects that are either in the process or coming up, staff's happy to answer any questions, and that concludes our staff report.
Thank you, David. Anyone have any questions? Mr. Baker.
Thank you. I know it may still be early, but the second warehouse being developed south of 195th, have they, or I guess it'd be Van Trust, has there been any discussions with a potential tenant, or is that still too early?
I'd say it's definitely not too early. They've had at least 2 site visits there with potential tenants. We haven't had any feedback in terms of what the response was there, but I do know the site is getting at least some attention from businesses around the area.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, David. Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, Mr. Gress. I would ask Chief Wilson to make a report for the Police Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just have an update on our Citizens Academy. We've picked the fall dates. It's going to be September 2nd through October 21st. Applications can be found at the Police Department lobby or online at raymore.com. Any of you would like to participate in the Citizens Academy, we'd love to have you. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Anybody have any questions for the chief? All right, Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, Chief. Would just want to, so Justice Center is on for tonight. I can combine that with my normal ending staff report. So the contractor is finishing up the draft that will be the final report for the council's review next Monday night at the work session, which is the first topic for the work session. That particular item will include contractor going through the report. They have been able to get to incorporate a number of the recommendations that were made during the public input and the council's input on that item. And then they will also be going through a calendar that is kind of a generic calendar of once a bond issue passes on this thing, here's the number of months that it would take based on what they're seeing from the site, based on the facility that would be built. How long a period are we looking at until we could actually occupy a building? And then staff will be going through the financial considerations and the bond considerations that will be associated with that particular project. Following that particular presentation, we will also be going through the initial pass of the Charter Review Commission applications that have been received by the council for council review. That is next week's work session and the Justice Center report. Also want to report to the council that tonight you may have noticed that the second reading for Bill 4044, which is the Owen Good force main replacement, has been pulled from tonight's agenda after the first reading 2 weeks ago. Reason is that late last week the contractor got with us with unexpected modifications that they would like to see in the contract. We were unable to resolve those particular discussions prior to the mailing. I am uncomfortable with some of them, so we pulled it from the agenda for your second consideration tonight. That concludes staff report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Fearborn. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Fearborn? Okay. Moving on, next item is the consent agenda. We have 2 items on the consent agenda. I'd entertain a motion to dispose of the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Circo,
I move to approve the consent agenda to include items A, City Council meeting minutes, June 22nd, 2026, and B, Resolution 26-29, acceptance and final payment, demolition of structures on South Adams and North Jackson.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Sir, just wanted to check. Councilmember McDonald was not here. He may want those separated because he was absent from that meeting.
Okay.
I can clarify that. I have reviewed the minutes as well as watched the recording, so I'm comfortable with that tonight.
Okay.
I will second the motion then, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to accept the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously, 6-0. Thank you. We'll now move on to unfinished business. Could I please have the second reading of Bill 4043 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 4043 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with T-Knock Construction, Inc. for the 2026 sidewalk replacement project, City Project Number 26-503-201, in the amount of $64,725, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any further questions for staff on this item? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Circo,
I move to approve Bill 4043, award of contract for the 2026 sidewalk replacement project to T-Knock Construction Incorporated.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir. I will second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 4043. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 6-0. Thank you. Could I please have the second reading of Bill 4045 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 4045 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with T-Knock Construction, Inc. for the City Hall Refresh Project, City Project Number 26-484-201, in the amount of $195,777.50, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any further questions on this item? If there are no further questions, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Circo,
I approve, I don't know what I meant. I move to approve Bill 4045, award of contract for the City Hall refresh project to T-Knock Construction Incorporated.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir. I will second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 4045. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? 5 yes, unopposed, 1 no. Motion carries 5 yes, 1 no. Thank you. We'll now move on to new business. Could I please have the first reading of Bill 4046 by title only?
The first reading of Bill 4046 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, establishing an intergovernmental agreement with the Raymore Peculiar School District to provide school resource officer services for schools in Raymore.
Thank you. Is there a staff report?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask Chief Wilson to make a staff report on this agenda item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the yearly or annual school contract, SRO contract between RAPEC and the City of Raymore. It's for the schools in Raymore. The fee that they will pay is still the same, $290 for a full day, $145 for a half day, and the total number of days is 175 days. The only difference in this contract between all the contracts before is they've added an additional SRO. So that has been a long time coming, and we appreciate that.
Okay.
That's my report.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of the chief? Mr. Holman?
I'm maybe dating myself a bit, Chief, but you said those were all schools in Raymore. I know at one time, simply because of our proximity to the East Middle School, we used to send an officer out there. Are we still doing that? I know that was via MOU with the school district and the blessing of the sheriff's office as well. I didn't know if we provide that anymore, or if the sheriff's office does.
The sheriff's office took that over last year, from the time that it was built till last year. It was in the contract.
great.
But this year, it's
not.
sheriff's has it.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Good to know. Anyone else have any questions? Yes, Mr. McDonald.
Maybe just a simple question. Being that we're adding an SRO this year, have they been identified and in the department and moving forward already?
No,
Okay.
not until the council votes on the item.
Understood. I'm happy to hear that as well. So having kids like many of us who go to Ray-Pec schools and here in Raymore, that we're adding an additional officer, I think is always great.
I think that's been a long time coming.
Anyone else? If there are no further questions, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Circo.
I move to approve Bill 4046, the 2026-2027 Raymore Peculiar School Resource Officer Agreement.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 4046. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Well, that concludes business this evening for the council. We now move on to public comments. If anybody from the public would care to address the council, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and keep your comments to 5 minutes or less.
City Council, Mr. Mayor, my name is Mark Miller. I've been a resident of Raymore for almost 30 years. I live at 910 South Prairie Lane in Ward 4. Excuse me. And this is my service dog, Gary Lee, for those who don't know. Couple just comments. Citizens create or allow all governments. The citizens of Raymore created this city. They even create monarchies and dictatorships, and they're allowed by their citizens. If these governments stray too far from seeing to the needs of its citizens, then its citizens take actions. The citizens are always responsible to their governments, but the governments are always responsible to their citizens. Openness and transparency build trust between government and its citizens. Was Raymore's Bill 4034 in such an emergency status that it required immediate drastic action before all the facts were known? As a citizen of Raymore that attended that meeting on the 22nd of June, I feel it's incumbent to the City Council to know or gather all the facts before approving a bill. This bill's second reading, of which the City Council then made a motion to amend, the motion to include a condition to be voted against, that amendment condition, then to have the original motion voted on and approved. Talk about confusing for people that weren't here, that may have watched. I had to back it up multiple times just to be able to see really what went on. It could have been tabled or sent back to city staff for a rewrite or a detailed scope of action from the contractor. Now, on another note, Mr. Mayor, I tagged your wife because you didn't, I can no longer tag you on Facebook, of a post by Mr. Dick Heim on the Raymore Residents Community Group on July 4th that specifically mentioned 100 tons of asphalt being laid on Lucy Webb. It also mentioned installing 6 no truck signs on Hubach Road, South Prairie Lane, and East Lucy Webb. And then, of course, the last item, which very appropriately thanked all the city and city Parks and Rec and staff for what has always been a great 4th of July event. I personally know people from other cities that will come to our city to view it. So kudos to you guys, well deserved, great show. Even though I wasn't at the park, I can see everything other than maybe the ground displays from my back deck. Great show. I was on the Parks and Rec many years ago when Hawk Ridge Park was voted on and approved. Look where it is now. So Parks and Rec, you've always been a great organization and department of this city. Back to the discussion of the Dick Heim post. If you remember, I tried to contact my city councilman to no avail. So therefore I requested comments from Mr. Freeburn, and I won't go into his comments, and then I requested to talk to you. We eventually had a meeting in April 27th. If you look in the comments, that's why I tagged your wife, because I can't tag you, you'll notice that there's great support for something as so simple as I was trying to get a hold of my city councilman as far back as 2 years ago for the no truck signs that disappeared. Thank you very much for putting them up, Mr. Freeburn. I read the report that you sent me about the traffic, and I made the comment. That was very, very insightful. And I made the comment, it will be interesting to see when J Highway's closed for the roundabout construction, how those numbers change from when that study was done. That's what open discussion between elected officials and people that are residents and voters of this city can bring about. So thank you for putting those in. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Does anyone else wish to address the council at this time?
Hello, my name's Michael Wilson. I live at 626 Avondale Lane, Creekmore, and member of the Ward 3, and been there for over 18 years now. Mayor and City Council, I would like to preface this message to you all and the residents of Raymore that I'm currently a member of the Parks and Recreation Board, and I'm very proud of the proclamation that you issued to our folks tonight. I'm also very proud that the working members are present tonight and the great job that they do. I think that that's overlooked. Several of the comments that I have written on my notes, I had to scratch out because you had mentioned them in the proclamation. But just the thought of us having 300 acres of parks and green space that we have to maintain, and the 20+ miles of walking trails, that's an incredible amount of work for the small staff that we have, and I think they should be recognized for that. One of the important things about what I had prepared for tonight is our response to the All-American 250 celebration and what we did. The projects that we included starting out in early June when we acknowledged the veterans with our bricks that were placed at Hannah Park. I thought that was very good, and folks should understand that, yes, those are for men and women who gave their lives in service of our country, but you can also have a brick put there for a member of your family or loved ones that have military service and have in some way been part of our Raymore community. So that's something to look forward to if you have someone, a son, a daughter, or a loved one that has participated in military service. From that point on, after that acknowledgement, we had Rock the Ridge down at the amphitheater down at Hawks Ridge. Tremendous turnout. A lot of the faces up here on the council I saw that evening We had tremendous turnout from the food vendors and the crafts folks in our community. Good entertainment from the band that played that evening. We moved on to an amazing fireworks display, which has been mentioned before I came up here. Park was packed. Parking on the grass for the additional cars and folks that showed up was closed because they were overrun. The church parking lot across the street was full. And as I left after the ceremony, the sidewalks along Madison were packed with people in lawn chairs and kids and wagons and all kinds of fun activities that they had gone. And so those are things that we really want to mention. We even had Field 4 out there at Rec Park had a giant screen so the people that were interested in the FIFA soccer match could even see that. So we incorporated that into our fireworks in our presentation that night. And so trying to make everybody happy. And I think we did a good job. I think it was an excellent display. And I think people that I talked to as I was leaving said, this was amazing and this is what we hoped. This was better than we hoped for. So with that in mind, I think that we have to also be cognizant of the fact that it wasn't just the Parks and Rec Department that put all that on. I mean, the Chamber of Commerce was involved, you all from the council were involved, the Raymore Arts Commission, a lot of our local businesses, our food trucks, our city staff, countless volunteers, and our first responders, Raymore PD, South Metro, with their firefighters and their EMS personnel. They were at every event that we had, whether it was the 2.50 fun walk or the fireworks, all the events that we had, the parade. It was great that they were there and made everybody feel more secure seeing them around. So I'd just like to say that the year's not over yet. We still got a lot of activities for the fall. Registration is now available for our kids' fall and adults' fall sporting events that we teeny tot football and adult softball leagues, and so I'd just like to take the opportunity to say thanks, and we look forward to seeing you all visit our parks and using our grounds and facilities.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Appreciate it. Anybody else care to address the council at this time? Seeing no one else come forward, we'll close the public comments section of our agenda this evening and move on to mayor council communication. Mr. Baker, I'll start with you this evening, sir.
Thank you. Obviously, Mr. Wilson, great speech, and from the proclamation, I will say I think our Raymore All-America 250 was a huge success. A lot of comments on social media. I know that my family took part in a lot of the events, and it was something that everyone was kind of in awe of what really the city did for 2 weeks. So congratulations to that. The fireworks, the parade for something that we started a half hour early thinking, okay, we may miss some people on the parade route. It was packed. So that was a good thing, good feeling. Got a little rain in, made it feel good. So just kudos to everyone on the staff, everyone involved in the committees and groups that put that together. It was hot during those 2 weeks, so excellent job with that. A little personal note, Saturday we had a water main break in my ward. I just happened to be bored in the morning. It was right around the corner from me, so I spent some time kind of watching the crew work. I did a police ride-along. I figured this was a public works ride-along that day, so very impressed with how the crews responded. I know a lot of them were on call that day, and just what went into. I saw the big vacuum machine in service. I seen it driving around, never seen how it worked. Josh was up there with me. He had brought some waters and Gatorades because it was hot. They stayed out there longer than we did. I called it a day at 10:30, and they probably still had 3-4 hours of work left. But very impressed with how our public works can do something like that in-house. And then to hear that we had another one on Sunday, kudos to that department for being on call. I know that people that are on call, that's kind of one of those when you don't get called, it's nice, but when you do, those are hot days. So send my regards and top notch. It was good to visit with some of them while they were waiting for the vacuum truck to get dumped. Where did they dump that at? That was my next question. I never got to ask anyone, but it was really cool to see how that done. And that's something that had the opportunity to take some pictures and post some stuff on my stuff for people to see that we should be proud of our public works and our park department. Great job with staff on both those things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Circo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start off, with the Parks and Rec. It's your month. You've done a great job. I mean, you guys do an outstanding job for what you have constantly. Really appreciate all you do. The 4th of July, of course, was spectacular in all ways. The fireworks. I never saw so many people there before. They were everywhere, parked on the street, on the lawns by the street. I walked around giving out what I had left of those information magnets and talked to people who they were, where they're from. We had people from Grandview, Peculiar, Pleasant Hill, Harrisonville. I mean, we had people from everywhere, and you could tell. They were everywhere. Like me and my wife sat out by the ballpark. They had a soccer game on in the one field. People were enjoying that. But it's amazing what the city put on, the Parks and Rec, how you guys controlled that, got it to go. Can't even say kudos to you guys for all the work you did, especially that night. The bricks, being an Army veteran, I appreciate what this patriotic city ever we did. Raymore is the most patriotic city I know. Got a lot of great people. And that knowing we did the bricks, thank you, Nathan, for you and your staff and getting that done again another year. But the work you guys have done, and the police department, the fire, but PD, they're there to serve and protect the people. They were there in force, doing a great job, and it went well. Didn't hear many things or any problems, and it was really a great night, people getting in and getting out. So kudos to that. Because I want to get back over to the policing. Now, we got 2 SROs, and so we always had 1, but now we have 2. We have a lot of children to serve and protect during the school year. So I'm glad we got the next one. Hopefully we'll go to 3. I mean, we do have a lot to protect and serve and a lot of miles to drive around to get back and forth. But our city's fairly safe. But, it just takes one incident. So I'm really happy that we have this second SRO and as was approved. We're going to get that approved and get that done because it's a very big necessity. I want to, let's see here. Looking for the chief to the academy. You got the next academy coming up here in September. That's going to be a good one. Hope we fill that one up. I think we have a lot of interest. We got a lot of good people in this city. I think we got a lot of good interest on that. And, but again, for the staffing, for the city, and I always, in my life, look at people when we sit here tonight and we honor the park board and the people that do the labor and work. Can you give me a minute? The labor and the work department, labor, stand up. I really want to give you another applause. Come on, you guys deserve it, gentlemen, ladies. I mean, you guys are great. You guys do all that work. You're great. Thank you very much on that note. So I guess I'll finish off and let it pass on down the line, but thank you all.
Mr. Barber, got anything to cover?
Yeah, I don't know, Tom, are you sure you're done?
Did pretty good.
I really can't add too much. Mr. Wilson, great comments. Mr. Baker, Ms. Circo, Nathan, Park Board, Melissa, I know you worked hard, city staff. I tried to go to as many of the activities as I could, and we saw same people, our folks there. And what I was encouraged about on everything is just the turnout, how big the turnouts are getting. And just like the stuff we're doing at the amphitheater, it seems to be growing and growing and growing. And that doesn't just happen. I know that's planning and that's hard work, and that doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Rowe.
I do have a couple of comments. I wrote a little bit down today, not quite the list that Tom had, but I'm going to get to it. I appreciate the citizen engagement tonight. I like to hear from the citizens. I like to see that in action. To the chief on the SRO thing, Josh and I, Councilman McDonald and I, we grew up together, and we both benefited from a very impactful and excellent SRO. We had both good and bad run-ins with him, if I recall, but impactful just the same. And he's a good reason why I think we're in public service now. So kudos to you in that program. I also want to give a shout out to Parks and Rec, great events, to the ones we were able to get to. Really good stuff. And although tonight's meeting has been pretty benign from a council standpoint, I did want to make an observation, at least from my short time here on the council. I've noticed a growing perception that when certain council members ask questions of the city manager or its staff, it somehow reflects a lack of trust. And I want to say publicly and state publicly that I have tremendous confidence of the city manager and the professionalism of our staff. They have repeatedly encouraged us to ask questions because they understand that's part of our responsibility as elected officials. I also recognize that some of the members on this dais have previously served as city employees and have built strong relationships with the people who work here. I respect that, and I understand the desire to support the staff. But support and accountability are not opposites. In fact, they're both essential to good government. I would simply ask my fellow councilmen that when we make a conscious effort to assume good intentions and not be so quick to take offense or interpret every question as criticism. If we assume bad motives, we'll hear attacks where none were intended. If we assume good motives, we'll hear questions for what they are, an elected official doing their job the public entrusted them to do. The people of Ward 4 didn't elect me to simply vote. They elected me to engage, to understand the facts, to ask about the cost, contracts, risk, and long-term impacts before making decisions on their behalf. Those questions are never personal. They are never attacks. They are not accusations. They are part of our fiduciary duty as elected officials, and we owe it to our constituents to ask thoughtful questions before spending their tax dollars and approving policies that impact their lives. We don't need to rescue professional staff that has never asked to be rescued. They are more than capable of answering our questions themselves and consistently invited us to ask them. Our role is not to protect people from questions. Our role is to protect public's interest by asking the questions we've been elected to do. Strong communities are not built on unanimous votes, but through dialogue, engagement, and occasionally discomfort. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Rowe, well said. Appreciate that. Thinking back to your SRO comment, I think I was, if I remember right, I was on the good run-in side of those. No, as been stated a few times already, just a hat tip and a giant thank you to our Parks Department, to the board, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Collier, not sure if anyone else is here tonight, but appreciate what you do, as well as Mr. Mustine and the team as a whole. My family enjoys the parks, and I think it's one of the highlights of Raymore. I had opportunity to visit the concert Friday night at Hawkridge. Great time, seemed like a good turnout. I know when it comes to those things, there's always additional need. Maybe we need some more parking. Maybe we get some calls of folks upset about something or would like something fixed. But I believe the good we do and the parks we have greatly outweigh any of the headaches and the discomfort that we have at times as a growing city. So appreciate everyone involved with that. Chief, I just want to thank you for the Citizens Academy. I think that's important, and I look forward to taking part here at some point as well. And as Mr. Baker said, I just want to echo the thanks to the Public Works Department, and particularly those that were on call this weekend. I think it was a long weekend for them, and we appreciate them serving the citizens of Raymore and getting things back on track.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ullman.
Your Honor, I would just be saying the same things with different words, so I'll yield my time to you this evening.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat, but I do have an anecdote since I have so many parks people here and a captured audience. Vicki and I, my wife and I, went down to Union Station Friday afternoon to visit that. We couldn't make it into the Fan Fest, so we did go down to Union Station, plus I like the air conditioning. We walked the hall there where the vendors were. We stopped at one booth, and there was a lady there that did parties. She did popcorn, candy, things for parties, setting up balloons, things like that. And I got, she saw my shirt. I had my Raymore shirt on because I'd been in an event earlier. And she said, "Oh, you guys from Raymore?" And we go, "Yeah." She's, "I love Raymore. I live in South Kansas City. My kids are in the rec program there. They just, they love the recreation department and the parks and everything they do for the sports programs there. And then my wife goes, she says, well, if you're not going to say anything, I am. She says, well, he's the mayor, as a proud wife. And she goes, oh my gosh, she says, I didn't know that. And she says, I just love Raymore. She says, if we could ever move from South Kansas City, we'd be moving to Raymore. So just that one impactful compliment that was provided to the park board, to the people that keep our parks in great shape and run our programs. Kudos to you again. I know we did the proclamation night, but it was such a fun opportunity to talk to somebody that didn't know who I was in the beginning, and to have those kinds of nice comments made just off the cuff was just kind of impactful enough to really send it home for you guys that you're doing a great work. Keep up the great work, and we really do appreciate you, okay? And that's really all I have this evening. I don't think we have a reason to move into executive session, so I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Circo.
I move to adjourn the July 13th, 2026 regular council meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded for adjournment. All those in favor? 6 yes. We are adjourned.